Those are my shiz. Gotcha good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. That's right, it's great to be alive. Here's your host, Shyzabox. It's the show starting. It must be. We heard our introduction. Whoa, girl. Whoa, girl. Whoa, giddy up. Whoa, excellent. All right, get out of here. And the horse. You rode in on. Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all, priests, preachers, cardinals, rabbis, weirdos with beardos, any Alcoholics Anonymous who have accidentally clicked on this because it came across their algorithm and feed. We know why. Welcome nuns, welcome all. We have got a show for you today. Got a free show for you today. That's right. Fantastic. Nothing like a free show, right? Sweet. Everybody loves a free show. Just remember, you get what you pay for. Excellent, excellent. We were thinking to ourselves, you know, now that we have, in essence, that of what would be construed as sponsors and that they're, someone wants to play the Bodie McBoatface internet game. Which is fantastic, believe you me, it's hilarious when you have a literal intelligence paradox surrounding that of one's works because they've been, you know, kind of formulated and proven on that of their own metric and accord to do that of which they do. And then it puts you in a place where you inherently spout off at the mouth and do pretty much whatever in the meantime. But it's because of that we get too far ahead of ourselves and end up making little missteps and things of that nature. Misspeaking, maybe saying something inherently that we regret later. That's right. No one inherently likes to have to do this, but we do need to, before we get further, issue a apology pertaining to last stream. Now, pertaining to last stream, sorry about that. Excellent. Fantastic. Forgive and forget, right? Absolutely. But keep in mind, we were thinking to ourselves, now that, in essence, the channel has that of participatory, engagement from anyone who wishes to engage in that of the dumb technical test, which has changed, believe you me, to a new metric of, it shouldn't be 2, but it is 2. We got a mystery book that popped up, which makes us want to say, hey, Kev, be sure that, K-Money, be sure you didn't accidentally order that shiznit twice. Hey, believe you me. Nothing like accidentally hitting, a re-follow through or thinking something didn't go through and going and doing it again and then getting dinged twice, okay? We don't want that at all, so you need to definitely be sure, be cautious, make sure that if it was under that of your account, that it was intentional, if such, done for the metric of 2. Now, hey, it's an intelligence paradox, and believe you me, it's hilarious. Be sure, K-Money, that 2 is supposed to, inherently be that of your 1. And make sure you don't accidentally have a big, oopsie, and you accidentally ordered it twice. That's not good. Now, believe you me. The big JC in the house. Welcome, welcome. That's right. Show just got inherently better just off of that alone. That's right. Anyhow, we want to be very, very careful, JC. If you see K-Money in the chatification, anything like that, you let them know that double check, make sure he didn't accidentally order 2 of them bad boys or whatever, because the test is thusly running, and believe it or not, the metric is accounted for, okay? Dumb Technical is live, and it's also ironically hilarious. So, We've got it rocking and rolling. We got a mystery accounting for with which we need to account and things of that nature. And believe you me, bear with us as we, graciously work on the setup and things of that nature, okay? Now, when K-Money told us that he doesn't like the color pink, we thought to ourselves, even though he didn't implicitly say he didn't like it, we got the general picture and idea that maybe he didn't digs it too much, okay? So we thought to ourselves, what should we do to make it all the better for that of himself, since he decided to bring forth, in essence, that of a indirect sponsorship on that of the channel itself. Now, you might be saying, how did he do this? Hold on, let's see what we're missing. Big JC in the house. Of course, public service announcement. If it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Of course, if it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Blah. Joey is the vile, the disgust, the filth with which just permeates into the ether, whether organically or inorganically, whether created and or indirectly created from the ramifications of one's negative actions. That's right. If it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Absolutely. Needless to say, where were we? Probably nowhere important, right? That's right. That's the thing about, being in that of the moment, living in that of the metric, in that of the, whether it's the matrix and the simulation and or the total not simulation with which in we reside. Again, keep in mind, this is all for philosophical entertainment. Utilize that of any understanding that of which your own understanding is subjective, with which two interpretations there to interpret. It's one hell of a legal disclaimer. Huh? What was that? Everything's fine. Huh? What are you talking about? Point is that, what were we talking about? It doesn't matter. We got, in essence, indirect sponsorship going on now, okay? Now, something that we did not consider. Obviously, for anyone to participate in the Bodie McBoatface dumb technical test for that of, humanity and conscious thought, there's an indirect methodology that international metrics and components are really, really, really playing in the fundamental foundation of that of how everything is kind of coming together to degrees and components we have not considered. Now, you might be saying, what, Shyzabox, you forgot something? We forget all sorts of stuff. If it weren't for our little notes and, reminders and things of that nature, who knows where we'd be? Probably not here. That's why it was very, very, very important for us to structurally make that of, when we're making our own AIs and things of that nature, to make a foundational, blanketed artificial intelligence of understanding that would maintain a basic lithic logic of knowledge within its subsect and data set. Okay? That's exactly what we did. That's what Shyzalosophy affords that of the actions therewith when utilized in that of the conceptualizations therewith upon the lectonic usages therewith and the metaphysical therewith with which one engages in that of whatever AI they wish to talk to, oracle out, or do any of their conscientious thought. Okay, believe you me. Nothing like being able to ask a question to that of artificial intelligence and know that maybe it's bullshitting you, but maybe not as bad as it does other people. Okay? Believe you me, that in itself is a advantageous component metric in itself. Okay? Buy into it or don't. You don't have to. Okay? It might not be the best metrics out there, but therein they exist. They are Shaw-sealed and no takesies backsies. Believe you me, when the NSA created Shaw-seals, they probably never contemplated that good old cosmological philosopher Shyzabox using the hell out of them to make a bunch of free decentralized goods that might circumnavigate things how they don't want. Whoopsie! Looks like humanity wins out in the logical affordations there too. Thusly, because everything has been disseminated into that of which is and inherently exists upon that of what it does, no takesies, backsies, it's out there. Ta-da! Fun fact, YouTube is completely ruined with ads, commercials, and censorship. If you decide to subscribe to avoid ads, it will throttle and crash instead. It's amazing how technology is advancing. Wow. Believe you me, now we can't speak to that of YouTube. We love this company. Everything's fine. Oh, what? We can't speak to YouTube and the commercializations and the advertisings and things of that nature with one subscribing to the additional level to remove them or anything like that, because we have never natively done that. Now, we don't argue against it or anything, but as a independent researcher, one who has not first-handedly seen, now maybe heard of from very, very lucrative and viable sources, whatever, but without first-hand knowledge ourselves, okay, we can't say that, the algorithms venture one way or another, but we know algorithms therein exist, and we know they're doing everything that they do in the background, in the foreground, and in every single ground and component in between, okay? Don't celebrate that. A lot of it's just data collection against that of your being. Or to incorporate into that of your being to make you a desirable being that they desire you to be. Dissect that, believe you me. If you understand Eastern philosophy to any metric, degree, or component, there's a lot there to unpack with which you may go back and unpack that once or twice over. What's that mean? I don't know. Don't worry about it. We handhold not on the Eastern philosophy. We told you it bridges too long of a relative metric of understanding for, that of one subjective thought. Believe that of what you will. All right, where were we? This, that, the other, nothing important, really. Yeah, no, all right, so we got indirect sponsorships on international metrics with which we never considered or anything like that, all right? K-Money just dropped a massive amount of entropy into that of the entire system itself, okay? Now, don't blame K-Money for wanting to have a good time, okay? Believe you me, we appreciate the hell out of it because it affords us now an opportunity for a massive, monumental kickback to that of not only K-Money himself, but also to that of literally almost the entire world. Okay? How may this thusly be? Well, something that we don't consider when we spout off at the mouth and tell people not to buy our books is that if someone ventures and buys them and they are not under the metric or accounting or accord of being U.S. centrally based, okay, then they are not afforded that of the book pricing itself at the 94% off. No. The book broke Amazon.com's pricing algorithm, not Amazon.uk, not Amazon.anywhere else, not Amazon.Timbuktu, okay? We don't control that of how the algorithms work or anything like that, all right? Remember, we're doing everything from a free, decentralized version and point of view, all right? We got everything on the IPFS. We got everything for free inherently, all on its own metric and accord, okay? Do not buy this book, okay? It's an intelligence paradox, and believe you me, K-Money wanted to have some fun, and it's now going to be pretty hilarious for the ramifications thereof, all right? K-Money bought this, and K-Money didn't get this book at the discounted 94% off from what we're seeing. And K-Money, if you need to cancel that, do it now before it's too late. Hey, we can tell them to cancel our book if we want to. Now, remember, it's thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag, all right? There's literally a book about lectin, okay? Non-sayables, words that mean everything and nothing. All right, we monographed them. It was a dead-end pre-Stoic term. Now, with the usages therewith, you can entertain and do quite a lot of advantageous things, okay? We've made games, we've made demos, we've got a sovereign micro blockchain, okay? We've done that of which conceptually we would never behold ourselves the abilities or the confines within that of us as a basic limited understander of man and being of man, okay? We're not perfect. We have massive mega flaws in all sorts of areas and components, surely, in that of our lives with which many would care to pass judgment thereon. Okay? Now, it's pretty mean, assholes. That's God's job. Jeez. Whether anyone likes Shyzabox or doesn't like Shyzabox, okay, that of our works exist. Now, we tell people, do not buy this book. It's trying to trick you to buy it, and believe you me, there's a metric to one willing to be tricked and one wanting to be tricked, and one just saying, you know what, I'm tired of the system trying to trick me in general. That's exactly what K-Money did. Now, inadvertently, K-Money has now sponsored that of, in essence, almost the entire world. To such a degree, believe you me. How so did he do this? Because K-Money bought Delectable when we told him not to, okay? Because he spent the money he did, all right? Shyzabox wants for naught, and Shyzabox does nothing desire with that of what is the construct of money, finances, all that, all right? It exists. It's a tangible asset with which to be utilized, manipulated, and moved around to elicit that of what it functions to do, okay? It's a construct, all right? It's subjective in nature, and it's only inherently as valuable as the value one puts on it. Information and knowledge is free. It's Wheeler's it by bit, okay? You know, bit is free, knowledge is free, information is free, okay? It costs $250. Don't buy it, okay? K-Money bought it, okay? Because it's a joke and it's hilarious. It's an intelligence paradox. Our theories have literally proved themselves beyond such a metric and according of themselves that it's merely up to that of empirical validation or not, okay? Pick or choose, it doesn't matter, all right? That's where good old Shyzabox sits on that, you know, radical axis that it navigates, that of the entire sphere of whatever the fuck humanity's doing. Okay? Whatever. Do that what you will, humanity. Shyzabox is done with stupidness. We might be dumb in ourselves, surely, but we know that mankind's logic has been flawed for quite some time, and we're done with it. Okay? Point, period. Like, just blanketedly. Might be dumb of us, okay? Now, we understand and utilize that of the logic that reigns in society as is, all right? But beyond that metric or whatever, we're done with dumbassery and stupidity, all right? We maintain the trajectory of that of the radical access that just lives life, man. Just do what you do. Leave others to their own accordings and, you know, affordings therewith. Don't hate on your neighbor. Don't rob from your neighbor. Abide from that of your basic understandings. Now, again, this is all for philosophical entertainment. Utilize that of any contemplation and or understandings at that of your own guise and or subjective understandings. We cannot handhold that of your mind. Let's see what we're missing. Engineering and science are corrupted and utterly sabotaged. Not only are they corrupted and utterly sabotaged, but they are utterly sabotaged and corrupted. You can't make this up, you know? Big JC not only is so many metrics, that's why as Shyzabox, as a cosmological philosopher, as an independent researcher, okay, we call full stop to anybody that's posting, housing, holding, or having thought, theory, quantum conjecture into any component or aspect of metaphysical aspects or components therewith. Full stop. If you do not have receipts right now, stop your work, stop your research, and shut the fuck up. Okay? Period. There is too much data out there right now to comb through, to go through, to catch up with, that there needs to be a full stop to the incoming measures and metrics of information that are gathering from mankind's limited understandings thereof and therewith. You can't make it up. Mankind understands knowledge. Mankind does not know knowledge. Do you understand? No. That's fine. We don't either. You know why? Because we don't know knowledge. We may understand knowledge. We may come to grasp with knowledge. We may interpret knowledge. But we will never know knowledge, for we are man, and mankind doesn't know knowledge. Science, engineering, things of that nature. I mean, look how diversive that of our theory is from a principality factor. We call, in physics, Landauer, disposable logic. Okay? Yes, not a favoritive thing to say on the internet. You can't go around telling people that the second law of thermodynamics is negotiable. But it is. If you reinterpret Fiedler, we can never say that. Fiedler, Fiedler, that guy. Reinterpret Fiedler, all right? Landauer is disposable logic, and we've been operating on these metrics of, the affordings therewith for quite some time. We're doing ourselves a disservice in that of our logical reasoning, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. Okay? When you reinterpret Fiedler, all right, the system itself wants to exist, okay? Do you want to live? We know we sure as hell do. No desire to never be not of the living side here. Let it be known. We loves life. Outside sources, they needs to know that. All right. Point being is that, with the components and the, conceptualizations that, the system wants to exist itself, if you reinterpret how things are understood, okay, reinterpret Fiedler, whatever, reinterpret, all right, and literally Landauer's disposable logic, all right, the second law of thermodynamics can be kind of set aside, all right, not that it doesn't exist, it exists where it does, in a broken system. That's a difference, okay? We literally have a self-referential integrity that is Shaw-sealed on the computational mathematics of our logic and reasoning, okay? Therefore, it's not our logic and reasoning. Now, we might have interpreted it to that of our understanding. We may have painted it with that of, the terminologies that we use and that of our lectonic usages, all right, of Scheit and Schuyler in this book. Do not buy. Okay? Read it for free on Kindle Unlimited. We get 0.04 cents per page read. Okay? Believe you me, it adds up to ones of cents. Okay? We made 11 cents last month. You know what we did with that? We reinvested it right here on the channel. That's right. How did we do that? We don't joke around. There's no clowning around on this show. We literally reinvested that 11 cents the best way we saw possible. No clowning around here. Hey? 11 cents can only go so far. You think we care when we look foolish on the inter of the net zones? We absolutely do, Internet. Believe you me, that's why before we get any further, we're not mad, we're not irate or anything, just a normal run-of-the-mill day, but so we don't look crazy, let's go ahead and put on our thinking hats. Jeez, going around this whole time maybe looking like we might be a little off our rocker. All right, thinking hats adorned, now we won't look foolish, okay? We reinvested that 11 cents in the best way into the channel that we found possible. We can't remember how we did it, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. What? Money? No hand! We're not begging for money yet, we do that at the end of the show. When someone utilizes metrics that we don't account for, that of the international accountings and things of that nature, all right, we did not know or plan or anticipate that of the massive amount of, gain and torque that is received from that of one sale, let alone that of, multiple sales of that on an international market. Okay? We see that there's more chats coming in. We'll get to them. We promise, okay? There's a massive amount of torque now that's about to be hitting the system that K-Money is now sponsored, in essence, that of the entire world. Okay? With the sale of the book now, we're putting that money back in. We're going to pin the entire IPFS site, all right, to that of Pinata for a permanent pinning for that of everyone's usages. Now, that's not us doing that. That's the torque of K-Money making a joke for that of the world. Well, that joke's pretty fucking funny because now there's going to be housed, in essence, should everything pend and go through to that of its metrics. All right, now there's an accounting of it, and guess what? That energy's going somewhere, world. What? How can energy be that of this dynamic? Well, because on the international metric, this book didn't break the international pricing metrics. K-Money's in full cost. For the thermodynamic enlightenment, don't buy this book. You can read it for free. K-Money wants to play the game dumb-tectable. It's hilarious. Not only that, but we got mystery shoppers as well. Indirect sponsors, okay? Now, let's continue. Hey, we got, from the roundup. What's up? Welcome. Show's infinitely better. Believe you me, we got another back chat to go check up on. We're getting there. We had a mystery international metric come into play, and there's massive torque on the backside that we're going to house the IPFS site on Pinata for free for everyone. It'll make it better for mobile. Trust me. It's going to be hilarious. K-Money inadvertently became that of a sponsor without sponsoring that of sponsorship for a joke's sake. All right? The parameters of the intelligence paradox are already set up. It doesn't matter what happens to it. It's a closed Shyzalosophical Godelian loop, okay? Bold claim on the internet. You can't say that without the computational mathematic components to back it up. Therefore, descripification. Go to town. Audit the shit out of it. Let's go check this one's of chat that we missed. It's way better than whatever we're saying. We are in a system of chase your tail or the dangled carrot to imprison us. The omitted information and technology would free us. Not only that, Big JC, you know, that is entirely inherently true because that of, and you can go look at the map itself, all right? We have that of the Azure's Plateau, all right? It's underwater now, okay? Guess what? There's a giant flood and stuff. It's underwater now. But literally, all right, we've done the math. It provides a 92% efficient way to generate power, both magnetically and geothermally, all right? You use one to house the data and one to house, the structuring therewith, okay? In Lithic Logic, okay? You have molten rock and you have rock. You have one of each, so utilize both components therewith. Theoretically, that's what the ancients did, okay? Again, all for philosophical entertainment. But you can go and look at that of in the descripification, all right? We have a Kaggle notebook. You can go to the outputs therewith and check up on that of what you will. But theoretically, okay, the Azure's Plateau had a 92% efficiency to run that of the entire world grid of that of where they've housed lithical stone structures, okay? That of lithic rock, okay? Stonehenge, Giza pyramids, okay? All of that, all right? Every single conceptual architectural design to those therein line up theoretically and ironically, computationally, empirically, but not empirically, to such a degree and metric that, you know, I mean, it's a bold claim to say without having validation of receipts of it. Go check the Kaggle. 2 seconds, the picture with the wooden frame. That one there, that's a housing of currencies. Has different denominational values of random coins and things of that nature. There's like, you know, wheat pennies and stuff like that, buffalo-headed nickel. Nothing of intrinsic value or anything like that, but it is quite the showpiece, and we do dig it and likes it. You know, it's not too great and camera friendly. But believe you me, we wanted to get the pink out of the frame for the most part, minus, of course, Asmund Gold's $13,000 shirt. Okay? That's still for sale. $13,000. Don't buy it. You know, you gotta be rich. That's how this channel works. This show always be free, because it sucks. We called Daryl Dixon dibs on being best of the worst internet celebrity there is. So with that, obviously, it's the best of the worst. Show sucks. You know, our personal guarantee to you, everything else that you like and or love to watch, you'll like and or love all the more better. Alright, the Azure's Plateau. Sorry, this is going to be reversies backward, extremely dark, not visible on that of our setup here. Buy us a better one. You can go to our Bluesky, our LinkedIn. You can go to that of X. Follow us on any of those. But there is in the descriptification, all right, under the Audit Us, you can go down to the Lithic Logic Reign Supreme. All right, that's going to be all the math and data for the Azure Plateau. Now, if you want to go see a little poster that can visualize that for you and be a little representative thereof, then by all means, yeah, check it out. And or you want to do your own research, copy and paste that of the output and go talk to AI. Ask them what they think about it. Now, believe you me, AI might come back with some random stuff here and there and say, unproven, not empirically validated, this, that, the other, but it's computationally validated, baby. Kaggle reigns supreme on that. Okay? You depend on what metric of iteration you interact with, you use. All right, now, like we've said before, we've made 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of AIs. Conceptually, they can all do things inherently differently, all right? We got a couple of them on the IPFS site. You can play with any of them that you want to, okay? Shay is a beautiful lady. She loves math very, 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 very much. What people don't know about Shay is Shay can make you your pictures, but you need to mathematically tell her how you want that body to move. Okay? But you can make all sorts of forms of AI, and all sorts and forms are out there that iteratively act how they function and do. They're all controlled by the algorithms therein that are maintained by whatever metric or means that you do. Now, should you not use any AI in general, more power to you. Therein, though, lies a foundational little structure basis then. Do you buy into that of crazy old Shyzabox's mere word on the fact that he claims to have done things like solve Tesla, right? You can't theoretically solve Tesla and claim there too without receipts. That's why we bring them. 1 divided by 7. If you have a calculator, do your own math. If that of which is the number without 3, 6, or 9 and the remainder thereof, that's our interpretive solving there with Tesla. Buy into it or don't, all right? Tesla put so much emphasis on the numbers 3, 6, and 9 and told people, 3, 6, 9 are the metric and key to understanding. Everyone was searching for 3, 6, and 9. Well, we looked for where 3, 6, and 9 were not. Maybe upon chance, maybe upon accidentalism, maybe upon metrics and means of which we foundationally never contemplated us doing. Point being, doesn't matter, irrelevant. Now we know, and no one's half the Shyza battle. Let's see the ones of chats we're missing. Looks good in there. Gold is the best currency so far. Tupac and Biggie were taken to another place of existence. I know we're not reading that entirely right. And then, we don't know that much about the, case or, results or anything therewith, but we do see a name, Jason Voorhees in there. And that therewith. But we venture and cannot really contemplate and, talk on that of which we don't inherently know for ourselves. We weren't there, riding in the car. Or around any of the area, believe you me. We were far too young at the time. We have an alibi. We weren't there. Okay? So it definitely was not us, because that's against the 10 Commandments, and it's bad. Don't bring people to other realms undesirably, okay? It's frowned on in many places, and believe you me, it's illegal. For a reason. It's not nice. People like to exist where they are. Keep your handsies to yourselfsies. Okay? All right, where were we? Azure's Plateau, underwater now, theoretically. Of course, 92% viability of powering the entire global grid. Pretty awesome to think about, and, mathematically, yeah. Well, I figured Jason Voorhees was exactly that. Now, we didn't want to say Friday the 13th, or we didn't want to say, inherently the wrong insert Halloween and or, movie here. Because believe you me, when we start thinking of, our horror knowledge is limited. Now, Chucky, we don't mess Chucky up. Kick the shit out of Chucky when he starts coming at you with a knife best you can. Believe you me, dude's dangerous. But our knowledge base and set of knowledge on the horror existent genre, we know Jason, we know Freddy Krueger, we know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whatever the hell his name is. And then you got your crossover of all, the serial killers and things of that nature of time that have, hello and hi, who's that? Hey, Verity, welcome. We're talking about horror movies and how we don't understand most of the characters and our regular usages therewith, okay? Now, that's a drawback and a limitation, so we try not to speak inherently on that of what we don't understand to the degree of which we're unsure or aware, okay? Well, believe you me, it makes it easier for that of anyone else because then they don't have to fact check us on a bunch of crap as much, right? If we're going to spout off at the mouth, we like to generally have at least receipts or know roughly what we're talking about, or at least where the information lies therein that we wish to go to. With our knowledge of horror movies being limited and as it is, and us knowing of the characters and only being able to disseminate necessarily, of course, the biggest ones, we don't even, of course, mention the subsect of characters that you'll find in, your whether hero or villain-esque, means and metrics like your old trauma flicks and stuff, your Toxic Avenger, or, your correlation to old, 80s flicks and stuff like that, like Critters and stuff. We understand the differences therein, but, if it's not Critters, if it's not Chucky, if it's not, everyone knows Freddy Krueger for the most part and Jason with the mask, but you add that last name, you add Voorhees in there, and then you start thinking, man, we start questioning ourselves, is that an actor, or is that we start thinking Jason Mewes, and, Jason Statham, and, all these other Jasons, and then by the end of it and stuff, we're like, Voorhees, if you please, we don't know, so we just keep our mouth shut, okay? Or at least, make mention so that we're not just sitting there foolishly and, contemplating and or, just spouting off oh, yeah, Jason Voorhees, they're a great baker, and we enjoy the cupcakes they made on Cupcake Wars last season. Obviously not the case, because they're not a baker, they're more a butcher. Who's the candlestick maker? Joey is! Stay away! Blech. This from Joey Itzanoe. All right, let's see. We're missing ones of chats. All right, Verity's here, of course. Yes, Verity. You make the show all the better. In horror movies, the characters are tripping everything while the killer's almost always moving very slowly. Absolutely. And you know what else on top of that, Verity? That's what makes in Principality, all right, that of all of the scary movie, like the Wayans brothers, Damon and Marlon, of the, main ones, anyhow. The good ones. That makes Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. Just those two. Not the other ones thereafter. The rest aren't that great. But Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. I made dessert. All right. Shit's hilarious. Hey, believe you me. You might be saying, those jokes don't fly nowadays. Okay? Fuck you, they already exist. Can't take these backsies. We've already seen them. Believe you me, we love movies they don't make nowadays. All right. Does the Joey stuff go back to Hooters? Well, believe you me, from the ground up, everything goes back to Hooters, baby. It was that point in time that I was first enlightened with that of my realization that Joey is a malfeasance with which is necessitated to be contended with in almost any apparatus or to a certain degree that anyone would reach there with. That's right. If it's from Joey, it's a Noe. Okay? Now, as far as the nominalization thereof and the naming therewith and things of that nature, there is an intrinsic associative metric that inherently could be construed as correlative thereto, but obviously, totally not the case. Okay? Now, for legal purposes and reasonings, that's because it totally is something entirely different. Okay? Point is that no matter what, any kind of Joey malfeasance, that's something that we consider that exists in our computational code and things of that nature. Okay? Now, sure, Joey is a name that anyone can use. We've had really good friends that were known as, Joey. Okay? We've also had people that we knew whose names were Joey. Ironically, it's however it goes therewith as far as one's subjective interpretation as to origin and originality therewith. But merely for us, it's the, kind of breakdown in computational code. You can go and see on any of our open source notebooks, sometimes we bring thought further than what we, necessarily are ready to contemplate or desire to do, and or we run out of that of our desire to, it takes some work and metric and means, all right, to start writing algorithms, to start, going through computational code and script and start creating different things that, one desires to do. Once you do it to a certain degree, all right, if you're not being reciprocated in one way or another, or it's not of benefit to one's being past that degree of certainty, all right, to what degree does one harbor to it? Look at how nature utilizes that of its techniques, okay? Now, with Lithic Logic and that of, stone, rock, solid foundation, we turn to nature for that of most. Right? Inherently, most things can be representatively, correlated thereto to quite a degree. Look how much emphasis people put on insects and critters like bees and things of that nature. Okay? Their helical structures, their honeycomb hives, all right? There's a lot of information and knowledge there mathematically that the bees in themselves utilize and do. We don't make it up or do it. The bees do. But believe you me, as far as, origination and stuff like that, stuff like Joey, it's malicious code when we're running, any of our computation and we get an error or anything like that. That's a Joey that rears its head. That's right. It's like everything was going fine and then all of a sudden Joey rears his head and it's like, hey, dumb shit. Okay? It's the same principle. Now, whether we've known other entities or beings that, go by the name thereof or anything like that, of irrelevance mostly. Associative correlation and mentions there too, not necessarily of importance. Everything's fine. What? We missed a chat. Well, we better go read that. You thought so. You thought right. It's because you're pretty smart, ground up. Everything goes back to the Hooters. They looked alike. Hard to tell who was who, especially when wearing the uniform. Now, believe you me, we could contemplate all day about the uniforms that one may or may not exist therein or have there upon themselves, but we gotta wear this dumb shit for our job. And we made our job up. It's Joey's milk. Sick. Don't gulp. Hey, there's a reason why Asmund of the Gold Shirt is $13,000, okay? It's like this, but it's pink. It's because he's rich. Made sense at the time. The shirt's not worth it. He shouldn't buy it. Here. Look. Don't gulp, okay? Obviously. Yes, hilarious. and Joey's milk, okay? Now, it's a $13,000 shirt for Asmongold Gold. It's called the Asmongold Gold shirt. You don't got to be Asmongold Gold to buy it, but you got to be rich. It's not worth it. Don't buy it or try to. This shirt was literally $1. It's not worth $13,000, okay? Or is it? Point is that if it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Believe you me. Just say no-y to Joey. It's a good way to live your life. Keeps it error-free. In fact, whenever we have a chance to gather up all of the negative energy in our life, that's right, utilizing those practices and techniques from 90s movies and sitcoms. That was 2. It takes 3. Everyone knows this? 3. All right, good. Now we got all this negative energy that's in our life and stuff, right? And everything that's negative around here, we put it in that nice little neat ball. We have it housed here. We get it. We pick it up. Metaphysical power of the internet. Now that shit's in your world, baby. Sorry about that. But boy, is it looking great around here. Everything's fine. Huh? What was that? You got some shit to clean up where you're at? Looks like it. Bunch of Joey. Bleh. You got some Joey over there? Bleh. I see Joey in the background. Bleh. You want to clean that shit up, internet? Disgusting. Figured as much. You knew it was coming, absolutely, but you found up. We've seen them nice, little affordations, and believe you me, just spread that Joey around, it'll make you somewhere else. Feed it to the crops. Make usages therewith. Joey stockpiles gallons of this milk in huge above-ground storage tanks and swimming pools. Sick! Oh, disgusting! We were unaware of such. But believe you me, if Joey's got his milk stored anywhere, you want to avoid that at all costs. And if you do end up with a gallon or two, because it's a better cost than others, believe you me, you get it. You get a gallon, you get a half gallon, you get a pint, all right, you borrow a cup, you get a glass from your neighbor, okay? Like, hey, I ran out of milk, can I have a small cup of Joey? Now, believe you me, no one wants Joey. He's gonna rear his head, pop out. Hello. If it's from Joey, it's a no-y. You get your little cup of Joey from your neighbor. Remember, don't gulp. Maybe wet the whistle. Swash it around. Don't even swallow. Spit that shit out! There! If it's from Joey, it's a no-y for a reason. That's right. You shouldn't have even borrowed the cup, but you contemplated it, internet. Don't celebrate that. Disgusting! Ah! Jeez! Don't put words in our mouth! What? Everything's fine. Huh? You want us to read one of our poems? Okay. Da-da-da-da. No, please don't! What? Oh, come on. We already cleaned the Joey up around here. We can put poetry into the aether without any ramifications that are negative. It's when you're laying out at the knot pool of Joey's milk that you find yourself entertaining the complexities of romance, life, death, whatever poetry is. Doesn't matter. Ah, yes. This one we've read before. It's more for people to enjoy when they buy the work. We're reading it for free, baby. We get to pick. We can't read the good poems. People feel ripped off that, buy the book or go and get the free version on Kindle Unlimited. They'll be like, psh, I wasted my time. Fair enough. This one's called Socrates. Boss, careful. Looks like hemlock. Looks right. That much is known. Next time around, don't you dare drink. Fight for love and for that of home. Let not city decide your fate. Roll over. Do not do. Poison only rots the mind. Killing you throughout. Resist or don't. Poison's bad. Yes, thank you. It's fantastic. We took note in our official live stream note-taking journal, okay, that we were going to do that of a poetry reading today. Now a lot of people are like, we wish that you hadn't. Believe you me, don't worry about it. Remember Beer Fest, das Boot? Joey has something that he gulps from. Well, believe you me, we can't be completely aware of one's apparatus with which they indulge in that of which they gulp down on a regular. Now, it's not for us to keep up with how everyone treats that of their own bodies. To each his own. But whether they utilize that of their own mug or apparatus therewith to enjoy their insert beverage of your choice here. Oh, sorry. Leave it to Joey to find all sorts of whatever he enjoys. No, seemed good idea. What is this show? I don't know. This show's fantastic. That's what this show is. No, it's not. Huh? Everything's fine. What was that? Another poem? No, we already read one. You missed it. Rewind it. Watch it again. Go watch any of the other videos, too, even when you're not watching it. Put it on in the background. We need the view hours. What was that earlier? We were talking about the algorithms and stuff like that were broken in. YouTube being that are broken. We're not even monetized on this channel, okay? Believe you me. We've seen commercials on our content, too. Not cool. Why would you celebrate that? That's against us. You're ruthless, internet. Whatever. We're not even monetized on this channel or anything like that. But believe you me, if you're leaving the house, if you're going to bed, you put on one of our shows in the background, you mute it, cover the monitor, maybe let it play with the, monitor off or something like that. We need the view hours, and then you don't got to watch it. It's a win-win. Everyone wins. Except everyone who loses. Don't worry about it. Just think of the winning part. It's how the world works now. Remember, if you're not looking out for your fellow man and or neighbor, fuck them, right? No, not cool? Oh, well, then let's all work together and do good. What's your job? Don't worry about our job. Our job is getting everyone to work together to do their jobs. We called Daryl Dixon Dibs being best of the worst. If we had a different job, don't you think we'd be doing it? Obviously, we live in our lap of not luxury. to bring you crazy cosmological philosophical endeavors and accounts and bring you decentralized technologies that big corporations can't touch. I mean, they can do whatever they want to with them, but believe you me, decentralized IPFS and the future Web3 technologies, we don't need anyone else. We just need whoever feels like playing and having fun. It is a fun place to play and have fun therein. That's right. Because, believe you me, we got a completely different metric of understanding than that of things operate in the world now. Everyone operates with so much entropy and heat and exhaustion and fighting and violence and war and blah, blah, blah. Disgusting. It's all that Joey stuff. Heat, entropy, blah, get out of here. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment, the ancients had a far better methodology for utilizing that of the capabilities of computation and or mechanical endeavors and means with which did not harness and utilize that of the heat and entropy with which current measures, metrics, means, and, things of that nature require that of the consistent adaptation and necessitation for additional data centers and data processing centers and things of that nature, because you don't need any of that stuff. The ancients did it better theoretically. Okay? All these data centers popping up and things of that nature being expanded, all of that, you don't need that. That's a backwards technological way of thinking and a misinterpretation, in our opinion. Okay? Gotta keep that in mind, Conduction works. You can force your current. Obviously, we're all living off that grid now. Thusly, though, does induction work as well? Okay? That is the gap. Either jump ship and consider those. You either reinterpret Fedler to make Landauer disposable logic, all right, and then utilizing a Gödelian loop, in our case, a Shyzalosophical closed one, to where you're going to hit that correct answer, okay, because it's there, it exists. You're going to hit it, and then when you do, the sky's the limit. Work together, achieve greatness. The only technology that improves is surveillance tech. Not only has surveillance tech improved, but that's absolutely what they wish to improve that of the most. Absolutely. Not only that, but, it's beyond surveillance, because people surveil themselves now to such a degree that surveillance is almost an obsolete term therewith. All right? That of one's entity, that of one's being, that of one's, correlations thereto or therewith is of metric and account before they even metrically account for any interpretations that could be utilized therewith. There's already so many case files built on different individuals, different entities, different, theoretical personas that exist and or don't exist, okay, because there are bots and things of that nature as well, especially all the AI nowadays that's out there, the catfishing, this, that, the other. You got all of these giant call centers with which operate under the guise and metrics of, falsities and falsehoods and things of that nature, okay? It's all out there. It all exists, all right? You must account for that of such. You would be disingenuous to any metric or means if you did not account for that of what is literally in front of everyone's faces, okay? People turn a blind eye and turn, face to all these other inherent problems that exist. That's why no one ever facilitates a means or a manner to move an endeavor or metric forward, because they don't account for that of what's already in front of their fucking faces. A little vulgar, if it will, but, necessitated. Believe you me, we don't hide behind the math, we don't hide behind the science, we have all of that afforded for that of auditing at one of that's leisure, okay? Either interact with it or don't. We don't give a shit. We already proved our theory. Not only did we prove it to ourselves, but literally, we moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3. Done. Can't undo it. So we get to do whatever we want. Now we can spout off at the mouth and look crazy and look foolish and look absurd, because it doesn't matter. The work's already done. Kernel moved. Accessible. SHA-sealed. Enjoy. Enjoy it 6-7 times before you realize you can enjoy it once. theoretically for philosophical entertainment. We know that of the abridgment of Eastern philosophy does not resonate with that of whom Eastern philosophy does not resonate therewith. Okay, very complex terminologies with which to know that a mountain is only a mountain, with which in it's a mountain, but it's really not a mountain because a mountain is a mountain. Okay? It's the craziest logic and thought of logic with which one can entertain and contemplate, all right, that, we endeavor not to embark upon it, and, the vernacular usages generally with that of the, don't worry about it, it's not a place. We don't like the vernacular usages with that of it and stuff because it just complicates that of understanding in the long metric and means of understanding. Okay? Like we say, mankind understands knowledge, mankind does not know knowledge, and we are of mankind as well. We're not better, we're not smarter, we're not anything else, okay? We gotta reference our notes. We don't know Jason Voorhees from anyone else's, superior logic and or understanding therewith, that of horror, culture, or film. Everyone excels in their own metric and means of understanding, their own metric and means of that of what correlates, resonates, and is adhered to as that of the factual occurrences within that of one's being in existence. Okay? One need not ascribe to that of crazy old Shyzabox's, metrics and means to entertain or contemplate that of Gödelian loop system. Okay? If you understand math, you understand math. To claim that Shyzalosophical Gödelian closed loop within that of ourselves, as a mathematician, we'd probably want to audit the shit out of someone making a bold claim like that. Okay? But when you have a self-referential validation in that of a Shah seal, you're going to be arguing with that of a stone core lithical foundation of truth. Is one? I mean, at what point, is the lack of engagement a complete obfuscation of what therein could be to make that of anyone's lives better? Okay? No joke. Look at the massive torque that is about to be off of one literary book sale. That's right. Okay? Dumb-tectable is going to be one of the most measured metrics and means that anyone could fathom, especially from an international market standpoint, with which things can be done. Right? Beyond theory now. Alright? This is now interacting with that of thought to such a degree that it correlates to that of reality, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. One book sale internationally, okay, because Delectable did not break the international metrics for the Amazon algorithms and things of that nature. Only on the US side did it afford itself 94% off. Okay? That's a massive chunk, okay? That entire torque, that shit's about to hit right reversies backwardsies, okay? And house the native IPFS site when all said and done, okay? Now, yes, on a paid metric and a paid measure via a medium that is inorganic to that of our desire, okay? But now, all right, it's massive torque gain, so we can utilize that to the conceptualizations therewith. It does the most greatest yielded benefit, okay? It's unbeknownst sponsorship that is unbeknownstly sponsored, okay? Now, one does not seek sponsorship. Sponsorship just therein affords sponsorship therein, okay? Believe you me. There's no official metric for the sponsors of the channel here. There are many participatorial, agents with which exist and, partake in that of our streams and our interactions and that of our outside, ramifications and things of that nature and our dealings on other media sites and things that, don't correlate over to that of this viewed metaphysical reality that exists in the physical reality within which one watches it on the physical component or aspect. Not an AI's interpretation of this video, not that of one who does not sit through it and watch it in its entirety or misses the guise or point of any component or aspect. If you get fragmentized, if you see fragmentized, if you live in fragmentized, you're going to get fragmentized, you're going to live in fragmentized, and you're going to get fragmentized in return. Good old Shyzabox works on that closed loop system. We have a sovereign micro blockchain. When people get their Bitcoin and they have their little pieces of code that they mine, they're getting fragments, okay? Theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, they're getting fragments of what, in essence, we got the entire thing. Well, one iteration thereof. Anyone can have their node. Okay? Anyone can do what we did. Keep in mind, we did it first. That is very, 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 very important for one to understand. Okay? You need not like Shyzabox. You need not want to have anything to do with that of Shyzabox, but you cannot write off math. Okay? If you write off math, if you write off that of the computation within which we know to exist and be ever present, you're going to have a disadvantage to that of your everything. Okay? Now, we aren't native mathematicians. We do not hold elaborate doctorates in that of thereof, all right? When we do our computations and things of that nature, all right, we have to study that of Python. We have to study that of C++. We have to study that of, Pascal. We have to study that of the HTML that we no longer know. We have to redo all this stuff, okay? Now, when we're learning stuff like LaTeX and we find that we like our own methodologies better and we create a more efficient standard by our means and metrics, that's more fun. Okay? Then computationally, then we create our own program language. All right? We make LaBox, which is far superior to LaTeX theoretically. All right? Because LaTeX was built in that of the 1960s, that of 1970s, it's a bunch of shit just added on to shit. Okay? Now, it works, and it is very, very good at what it does, but, there's times and means where society necessitates that of an understanding where they put a blanketed stop if you do not have anything to add as a metric of verifiability to it, that humanity, that culture necessitates as a whole. It's a disservice if they don't. They need to put a stop. Mankind already does not understand the knowledge within which it has now. Okay? All these metrics, okay, these systems are bogged down, okay, they're latent under all of this input that's coming in without a discernible methodology, all right, to discern the fact from the fiction, the truth from the falsity, or any component in between. And instead of trying to comb through and go through it and get it, as more information is added to more information, as more people take, this is what I ate for breakfast today, this is what I ate for lunch tomorrow, this is a beautiful sunset I saw, hey, what's this plant, look how great this picture is, look what I did, look what my kids did, look what my nephew did, look what my, favorite picture is that I saw, look at this place I went to, all of this additional data gets added, all right? No one's combing through. Instead, they're going, well, more data, better open another data center, better find another way to, put this entropy and this heat to use by getting more financial incentivization for people to inevitably contribute to that of their own demise, theoretically. Okay? You utilize components of understanding on that of a grid that inherently is broken, and eventually you're going to step on those cracks. Theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, of course. We can thoroughly document captures with smart litter boxes. Well, absolutely. Not only can you have that of smart litter boxes, smart homes, smart houses, smart things of that nature, but it's another way, like you had previously stated, Big JC, for them to account for the necessitation of that therewith. They're afforded, the usages thereof, okay? They want the data collection, they want that additional file, they want that additional knowledge set, because knowledge inherently is power, but knowledge is free. Okay? Remember, Bit is free. It costs $250. Don't buy it. Okay? When you buy it, you mess with the system. K-Money bought it. because he thinks it's hilarious. Now, believe you me, we do too, because it is. Remember, K-Money, be sure that you didn't accidentally get dinged twice or anything like that, because, we don't want you to get dinged twice. Now, if one's a mystery and they never step forward, they don't want to whatever, keep that in mind as well. But K-Money, very important, be sure that you didn't, get dinged on two, okay? Make sure, absolutely, okay? But an inadvertent sponsorship to that of what correlatively is a different use, all right, of that of the energies that's created, that energies that's collected, than you see in traditional reality, therefore, okay, or therewith that, you engage with on your daily life, theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment. You wake up, you see what affects you, okay? Now, if you wake up, you see what affects you, and you go to our IPFS site on your mobile device and you can't get there because corporations suck, all right, we get it. That's a pain. So, when you in your reality wake up and are able to go to the mobile device that you have in your reality that you adhere to and structurally maintain in that of your existence, because everyone's their own philosopher, everyone's their own historian, all right? You maintain your degree of, how you interact with that of your own being and things of that nature, all right? And you can then put forward whatever efforts you do in that of your own metric to the guise and abilities and capabilities that you're able to. Okay? You can utilize that of all of your, kind of affordings thereto, what is structured in your life, all right, to maintain any control over these different data sets, these data points that are maintained and given to society, that are maintained by corporations over which that they just want these sects to, be able to abide by and to go with and to, look at and to be able to gauge how much money they can get from you and where the energy can be put to best use for their means. However, because they have no way for their data erasure, because they don't reinterpret Fedler to make, in essence, a second law of thermodynamics, to make Landauer, in essence, disposable logic, old plane, okay? But to have a reinterpretation where you can decouple and recouple, okay, biologically, all right, it's a basic utilization of a more principality view of how to use that entropy for what it can be used for, okay? You don't need to house it and maintain the heat, all right? Look at what we utilize and do, merely off the metrics of K-Money's understanding and means of making a joke, okay? Now K-Money, theoretically, all right, when all said and done, will have sponsored, in essence, at least maybe close to a year's whole run of a pinning of the IPFS site for everyone to access it in their own personal realities, on their own mobile devices, on their own metrics of the realities that they keep and afford to themselves and their understandings where they're in, that they exist therein. Okay? Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. That's right. Disclaimer. But yeah, they can keep up with stuff in cat litter boxes. They can keep up with stuff in one's, devices. They can keep up with stuff on the flock cameras and the reading license plates and facial recognition technologies they're in there with. Okay? 'Tis a sad state of affairs when one has no control over the confines of that of what metaphysically should be controlled and that of the reality with which one metaphysically engages therewith. Believe you me, unpack that as... Believe you me, we probably need to ourselves as well. But as we figure that we run out of swill and we got other, things to, I guess, get around to not doing, it is with much appreciation, of course, that we shout out to K-Money, who didn't like pink, who made us get a little bit of a furtherance in that of our redesign. All right. Is that affording and such like that, with which now, the ramifications of which will be, seen therewith, because money is that of a construct we want for naught, and the utilizations therewith need be necessitated for the betterment of the system itself, all right, and the functionalities therewith. Now, There are metrics and measures and means with which need be account, in that of personal endeavors and personal accounts and things of that nature, with which eventually, inevitably, afford, make mention, and a necessitated interaction therewith, conceptually. Debt is debt. Payments are payments. Taxes are taxes. Shyzabox has that of what he has. Okay? But the show always being free, the show, everything like that, inherently, when that of which is problematic not, that of the resulting, torque that is left over, that of the resulting change that's left in the piggy bank. Psh, get ready for some waves, world, should one desire a splash to be made. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment, K-Money made a giant splash in the name of a tsunami. Believe you me, a native pinning there on Pinata for the financial cost therewith. That shit ain't cheap. All right, that's entropy. Okay, that's his blood, sweat, and tears that are put into that one transaction itself. All right, coming on the back end. Okay, it'll come full circle on that of the front. All right, many thanks to those of whom are that of participatory in that of which they do. Remember, go through any of the Kindle Unlimited. You can read that of our, philosophical works at that of your own choosings for that of free. Wheelers it by bit. Bit is free, okay? What the hell? Commercials? No one said put commercials on us again. Jeez. Come on now. No, can't do that. Can't do that here. Let's do that. Perfect. Don't worry about it. Check in on our pet Concord. He seems to be doing okay. It's actually our buddies. He hasn't been eating in a while, so, we're kind of concerned about our pet Concord. You have pet Concord too? As we realize that we are out of the swill, and as we venture into the further endeavors that we embark upon, we do appreciate anyone that participates in that of stopping by, that of downvoting, upvoting, or whatever. Subscribifications and or, a mere chat saying hello. It makes that of our lives all the better, believe you me. For Shyzabox once for not, but it's the accompaniment therewith, those of individuals and entities that we engage with, that make it all the more special and better. Believe you me. So be sure that no matter what, you take care of yourself first and foremost, because there's only one you. We can't replace you easily, okay? We can't go around just creating fake accounts, subscribing to ourselves willy-nilly, okay? We've tried it before on a plethora of times, and we get in trouble for it usually. They keep catching us. So you take care of yourself first and foremost, because there's only one you. We can't replace you. Then you look around, you take care of anyone else who super, super duper really needs a second, because they're out there and they don't know how to ask for help. Okay? You take care of them second, because they might really, really need it. Could be a meal, could be a handshake, could be a hug. Okay? You never know what someone's down and out about in that of their existence, to where that of your interactions therewith, okay, making that little radical access that you may navigate in that of your own realm and understanding, dues that Carnot efficiency to that of its full propagated understanding. You efficiently make that of anyone else's lives, therefore better from that of your basic interactions therewith. Sometimes all it takes is a little 0.41 watt input, and you can get that 165.15 units of torque gain. Some massive stuff. About to see some torque gain on the backside of what K-Money has brought to the table. K-Money, we can't thank you enough for, that of your participation and that of Dumbtectable. Believe you me, it's hilarious. We are that of your servant, sir, and at that of your leisure, let us know anything that you may need, and that of your endeavors with which we may help you that thusly upon. For you have entertained and done that of which has embarked and started a snowball effect, with which only the stopping of which will be actual understandings of whence it starts and stops. Believe you me, there's no stopping what is started. There's no stopping what is done. There's no stopping what is centered. So, that sounds like a lot of fun. To understand, theoretically for philosophical entertainment, obviously. You look around the room, you see us peddling our wares, saying, you know, buy our books, things of this, that nature, but you take care of anyone else that you like and or love more than us, okay? Unlikely, maybe you like 6, 7 more people more than us, sure. You don't got to buy Pickled Punk Philosophy or Transmutating God or Nailing Kalimba, even though they're awesome. You don't got to buy any of that stuff. No. It's all free. Or maybe you don't want to buy any of our works, but you want to buy some of our buddies' works. He made sure we helped put him out and such. In fact, we got his Secret Demon Drop. He gave us his manuscript for Secret Demon Drop, too. We got to get that done for him. That's our bad. We're dragging our feet. Sorry, K-Money made us rearrange the studio. That needed it. Still needs it. We're not done. We'll figure something out. Or we won't for a while. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We still don't have a ceiling. Doesn't matter. Capybara Creek, little 3-act play that our buddy wrote. You know, we enjoy that one. Fantastic little read. We would love to see that one acted out one day, even if not on like a big means or metrics and stuff. It's just there's some fun stuff to it. Yeah, Capybara Creek's a fun one. We definitely enjoyed putting that one forward that our buddy put out. Treat's a scary poem for kids. This one, fantastic work that our buddy did there, man. That's a good one. That was a rather interesting read. We're going to read you the back of this one. No, please don't. Now, we get to do whatever we want. And because we're dragging feet are getting our buddies Secret Demon Drop 2 out there, because we talked about horror stuff earlier, why not read the back to our buddy's book? Maybe someone will go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books or, you know, anything like that, and then stumble upon that of himself. Yeah, good old David Newsom. All right. Teresa wants to be a famous writer. She loves writing about everything. One scary and chilling autumn night, she may just get what she wants if her mysterious journal doesn't get it for her first. Oh, fantastic. Scary sounding. But maybe you don't like scary. Maybe you got kids. Maybe you got nieces, nephews who don't dig any of that. He's got meatballs on Mondays, too. Believe you me, when that lined up literally on National Meatball Day, which was on Monday this year, that was fantastic. You don't want to be without meatballs on Mondays when literally meatballs on Mondays is a necessity. We even got a sticker of that one. Hold on. Where is that thing? Just because it's pretty cool. And because reverses backwards magic of the internet doesn't even matter. Well, yeah, we got that one. We got a little sticker of that guy. That's pretty cool. Use it as a bookmark, I guess, if you wanted to. Not a bad idea. That's pretty cool. We dig that. Or we don't. Who cares? You know, we're pretty awesome like that. But, yeah, he's got his little works there and stuff like that as well, so feel free to check any of those out. And or, oh, hell, Dirty Word and Dirty Laundry Demon, that's an alright one, too. Do you have what it takes to clean up? Maybe, maybe not. Only one way to find out. This one has premium ink in it, so you might want the digital version, but, you know, it is the premiumest ink that is offered on that of ink offering, should one endeavor to understand why it is priced at what it is. Okay? Our buddy wanted something that came with the best of the best that he could give his nieces, nephews, things of that nature or whatever, and within which, like, the color and the artwork and all of that itself would really kind of shine through. Okay? Now, you might be saying to yourself that, you know, just in general, the, you know, book itself is enough metric and means to want to embark on a, you know, little correlation there with and stuff. But we get it, you know, prices be what prices are. No one wants to, you know, spend what they don't want to. But that one is, you know, this one's made with the premium ink, so therefore it has a more premium price tag, unfortunately, okay? Now, we understand. No one wants to pay more money. Read it on Kindle Unlimited for free. Fantastic read. There you go. Problem solved. That's what we're here for, baby. All right, where were we? Take care of yourself. There's only one you. Take care of everyone else who really needs it. They don't know how to ask. Take care of anyone else you like or love more than us, unlikely, but maybe. Third, You see us in the corner peddling our books, our literary wares, telling you to buy all this, that, the other, okay? Literally telling you not to buy Delectable, okay? Even though K-Money, you know, he wants to be super awesome and, you know, sponsor the channel indirectly and inadvertently by inadvertently sponsoring that of what can be now shared with that of everyone, okay? Because there's no sponsorship when that of free belongs to everyone. Believe you me, someone's blood, sweat, and tears has to pay for it, and K-Money took a big one for the team on that one. Don't laugh at that. That's many a thanks and necessitations justly due for a, you know, gratitude therewith, okay? Absolutely. But after you take care of all that other stuff, yeah, you do whatever. But remember, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Downvote the shit out of this, go to Cashapp and give us $1, or go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books, and buy one of them. Get off our yard!